A new plan? The township wants your input, and Nick.
Residential streets aren't as safe as they should be. Coming up, I'll tell you what you can do to help.
Those top stories and much more, but first, Shelby's overhauling their master plan and they need your help. Planning Director Glenn Wynn explains.
The Shelby Township Planning Commission, with the assistance of LSL Planning, is in the process of updating the Township Master Plan. We are required to update the master plan at 5-year intervals. This master plan process is intended to be especially interactive with the community as a whole. Multiple opportunities for citizen engagement will be offered throughout the planning process, which will occur over the next 12 months.
This process should take about 12 months to complete, with plenty of opportunities for citizen engagement. On Shelby's website, meetings will be posted where residents can voice their opinion, also a questionnaire about entertainment activity, housing, and more. Go to the website on your screen to take that survey. This past year, a spot on Shelby Parkway has developed into the future home of Transform Automotive, a facility sandwiched between the new Javis USA headquarters and Paslin Company. This area is a manufacturing base. The new Transform Automotive facility is about 166,000 square feet, serves different companies in the area, and provides jobs for many in Shelby. Growing businesses means growing Shelby. As we recently reported, cars speeding through subdivisions was spiraling out of control. Nick Buckler gives us an up-close and personal story of why we need to slow down in subdivisions.
Neighborhoods should be the one place where kids can play outside and people can work on their yard without worrying about speeding cars. Anthony Persichetti lives on Pierce, which is a busy residential street off of Shelby Road.
Always played on the sidewalk here and on my driveway, and I used to skateboard all the time, and I used to always see people flying down here. I remember my dad always yelling and saying, like, you know, slow down or whatever, but there was always people going fast, and a few times, you know, my skateboard goes out in the street. And actually, my brother's skateboard got demolished by a car.
He and his family have been personally victimized by careless drivers.
We had 2 dogs that, since this subdivision you can't have fences, you know, the dogs once in a while will run out by the road, and cars are going so fast. Once, 6 years ago, we had a little Yorkie that died, you know, got hit.
One fall evening, he and his family were taking their 6-month-old black lab for a walk when it too was struck by a car.
Car came down. I think the road's 25 is, you know, the speed limit, but that guy had to be going up into the 50s, 60s real fast.
Yeah, and it was right in front of your house, you said.
Right in front of the house, yeah.
You can help by simply being extra cautious on the roads. Don't forget, texting and driving is illegal. How would you feel if you were driving and saw this behind you?
The speed limits in residential subdivisions are 25 miles an hour. They're usually posted at the beginning or entrances of the subdivisions, but they don't have to be posted in the subdivisions. It's prima facie that the speed limit in residential areas is 25 miles an hour. What that means is you're supposed to know in residential areas it's 25 miles an hour.
Let's help make neighborhoods a safer place for everyone. For Shelby This Week, I'm Nick Buckler.
All right, Nick, safety always first. Goat herders, you can all breathe a sigh of relief. Why? We recently reported about a lost goat on Shelby Township Municipal grounds that was found by a family over by Mace Decker Park. Shelby Parks and Rec herded the goat over to the police department, where the sweet goat stayed until Macomb County Animal Control took him into custody. But good news now, the goat owners claimed their goat and he's back at home, safe and sound. Coming up, the FDA cloud hangs over vape shops, plus theft, and a famous author helps out a local school. Stay tuned.
People think I'm trash, but they're wrong. Today I'm just an aluminum can, but one day I could be a stadium.
Hannah, is everything okay in there?
Just a minute, Grandma.
FDA cloud hangs over a certain product sold everywhere, Charlie Cadato explains.
A lot cheaper than buying a pack of cigarettes every day.
New FDA regulations could make e-cigarettes a lot more expensive. Federal regulators are working on new rules that would require FDA approval for all liquid nicotine and e-cigarette devices, and it comes at a high cost. Approval prices range between $2 and $10 million.
If these FDA regulations go through, they're going to start shutting them down since they don't have enough money to get the FDA approved.
Brandon Kassab is manager of Liquids Vapor Shop on Van Dyke in Shelby. He says FDA regulations all come down to money.
The big tobacco companies, they tax a lot on the tobacco. And when they tax a lot, that's a lot of money for the states. They see vaping as a threat to that.
If the regulations go through, small vape shops could suffer. Regulations would cut the supply of liquid nicotine and drive up costs for shop owners.
Vaping's been around since about 2008, so it's still pretty new. You know, tobacco smoking has been around forever.
Kassab says they're providing a service for Shelby smokers. He says e-cigarettes can help smokers stop.
We've got a lot of people, they get down to zero nicotine, and that's nothing.
It's starting to catch on because people are actually starting to see that it's definitely a healthier way than smoking cigarettes.
Some researchers say much is still unknown about e-cigarettes. Long-term effects and potential dangers are still being studied.
My mom's friends, everybody, I see them, and I ask them, I was like, man, stop smoking. This is way better for you.
For Shelby This Week, I'm Charlie Cadato.
All right, Charlie, thanks for that update. A trailer and tractor were stolen in Shelby recently. Police reported this cargo theft happened last week. It was in the area of Auburn and Ryan. A semi-tractor and loaded trailer were stolen and later recovered in Detroit. But what was still missing was the cargo. 18 pallets, about 28,000 pounds of packaged walnuts and other snacks were stolen, valued at over $128,000. If you have any information on this theft, call Shelby Police. 2 men have been sentenced for defrauding the food stamp program, amounting to $1.7 million. Adnan Kejbao, 47, from Troy, and Ayad Yatuma, 44, of Shelby Township, were sentenced last month. Court records show the 2 men, who are brother-in-laws, operated Caesar's Food Center in Detroit. They engaged in a federal fraud called discounting, taking food stamp benefits and selling them off. A judge sentenced Kejbao to 21 months and Yatuma to 18 months in jail. Local restaurant Sahara Mediterranean Grill partnered up to help feed local residents in need. The Shelby restaurant, located on Hall Road, along with Macomb Food Program, hosted a canned food drive, offering customers discounts on menu items in exchange for their donations.
We thought it'd be nice to actually do something where we give back to the community, to the less fortunate people who don't have, are not able to put food or anything on their table. So
Sahara is known for its delicious Middle Eastern cuisine. 2 cans of food gets you 10% off the cost of a meal. A local Shelby Township business held a job fair recently. Sienna Healthcare at 22 Mile Road near Van Dyke, a new business in Shelby, opened their brand new doors for employee hopefuls.
One of our biggest things is we want to be part of the township. We want to be a part of the community. We've already tried to extend ourselves as hosting a job fair for our fellow neighbors, but also be friendly neighbors. We've had a couple other things come up where we've lended a hand to a couple neighbors here, and we want to set in something, a whole different environment of home-like, person-centered care. We are very hopeful that we'll be filling all of our positions. We've again had a great turnout today, an overwhelming response, and we are looking forward to offering those positions to those qualified interview applicants today.
This location will offer physical, occupational, and speech therapy, skilled nursing, and post-surgical care. It also includes a restaurant, library, lounge, and salon. With this week's Job Hunt, we bring you job opportunities from in and around the township. Child Time Learning Centers and Tutor Time locations are searching for an assistant teacher with child care experience. The Learning Center is located on 24 in Mound. They also have a second location on 21 in Hayes. Experience working in a licensed facility is required. Art Van Furniture is hiring a full-time sales consultant. You need at least 1 year of sales experience to apply. And also, Eyeglass World in Shelby is looking for an assistant manager with some sales experience. Also, Summit Family Dental on 21 in Van Dyke is hiring a new receptionist. Responsibilities include greeting patients, scheduling, and insurance verification. If you're interested in applying, call 586-697-3040. For all these jobs and more, go to shelbytv.org. Davis Junior High School earned a grant after being handpicked by a best-selling author. Davis is one of 100 schools in the nation that will receive new books through funds donated by best-selling author James Patterson and the Scholastic Reading Club. Davis Junior High is so excited to be picked out of 28,000 applications. Patterson reviewed the top 1,000 submissions. The famous author is donating $1.75 million for school libraries. The donations are being matched by the Scholastic Reading Club. The grant for Davis Junior High was submitted by English teacher Tara Mink. An outdoor class was held recently to help keep kids on the straight and narrow. Arthur Schenk tells us about this on-point lesson.
For over a decade, the Shelby Township Parks and Recreation Department has held archery camps to promote the sport of archery in a safe and fun manner. This year is no different. Instead of meeting at the Nature Center, the sounds of arrows smacking their targets can be heard at the bus garage near the community center. The move allowed both novice and experienced archers to stay out of the rain and hone their skills in a controlled environment.
If you did pass, you passed. So
the Parks and Recreation Department's Cameron Reaper, who is heading up this summer's archery camp, infuses each camp with a solid foundation of instruction, technique, and safety.
We cover, all the basics of bows. So we'll show them the bow. We'll tell them the different things that they have on the bow. You'll have your nocks and things like that on your arrow. We'll teach them all about the arrows, all about the bows. So we have people coming here with experience. We've had people coming here with no experience at all. We have 2 beginning archery classes. The beginners come, they learn the basic steps of archery, pretty much different ways to hold the bow, different ways to shoot the bow, their stance, their form. And with the beginning archery students, we pretty much just work on their posture. Being able to get arrows on the target. And then our second class that we offer is the intermediate archery. To be an intermediate archery, you have to have that first archery. You have to go through the beginner class. In intermediate archery, they're more shooting for scores, shooting for pins. We have different ranks, like you have your junior yeoman, bowman, junior bowman, things like that. And so pretty much they're working up the ranks in order to get the highest they can achieve.
The improvement from the beginning of the camp to the end of the camp is not only seen in the archers' techniques and confidence, but also their target scores.
We'll see how they'll start off, maybe getting 1 or 2 arrows on that target. They start off at 12 yards. So they're getting 1 or 2 arrows on that target, and just to see them very happy, and excited about that, it's very nice. And then as they progress, it starts on Monday, goes through Friday. So as they're progressing, you'll see them go from 1 or 2 arrows on that target to, 5, 6 arrows on that target. And then you'll see them get, their groupings together. So you'll see them, maybe getting 1 or 2 points here or there, where at the end of the week they're getting, 20, 30 points, by their arrows, which is very nice.
So if you're interested in one of the archery camps held by the Shelby Township Parks and Recreation Department, I suggest you contact them early, as they sign up usually a year before, and they're always full. Also, you can go down to Riverbends Park off of Ryan Road and practice your archery skills at the archery range they have there. For Shelby This Week, I'm Arthur Schenk.
Along with that archery program, Parks and Rec has some other summer youth programs: Craft Camp, Encountering Wildlife and Sportsman Skills Camp, Critter and Bug Camp, Outdoor Skills Camp, Junior Explorers, and more. Call Parks and Rec at 586-731-0300 to sign up. A new autism clinic opened at Oakland University recently. The new facility includes instruction for preschoolers with autism. Parents are able to watch one-on-one interaction between children and instructors. The clinic includes 5 rooms with toys, two-way mirrors, and recording devices. This clinic also has multiple levels.
One is that it helps children diagnosed with autism at the preschool level, and that provides instruction for them and helps them to gain skills, be independent, things of that nature. But it also has a benefit to undergraduate students here at Oakland University. They are going to do their fieldwork or internships. These are students from the psychology department, or the social work department. And then lastly, it also helps individuals who are working towards a master's degree in special education here, or a graduate certificate, and these students are working to become board certified behavior analysts, or BCBAs.
This clinic is huge for us because we never really knew exactly what ABA therapy was. We had read about it, we had heard about it, didn't really know exactly if it was the right kind of therapy for our son. So something like this, where it's a grant program and you have master's students getting there, grad students and BCBAs over them, and you get to watch and see what they're doing and then bring those home with you, those tactics, it's huge. And and he's only 3, our son Chase is only 3. So for this to start now, the improvements hopefully can only get better.
This clinic services anyone in the area. If parents are interested in enrolling their child at the ABA clinic, contact Assistant Professor of Human Development Jessica Cordner at cordner@oakland.edu. Soft and furry friends are great for cuddling or playing fetch, but dogs are also changing lives for the better in a different way, one paw at a time. Paul Morrow tells us how.
Gary and Paula King are animal lovers, especially dogs. Their dog Spinner recently had a litter of 6 puppies, but these little fur balls are not your average bundles of cute. The Kings are part of a group of dedicated volunteer breeding hosts for the Leader Dogs for the Blind organization. More than just house pets, these highly trained dogs will give freedom and mobility to those in need.
These companion dogs are meant to provide mobility and the eyes they no longer have or don't have to allow them to leave their home, go out among people, into the workplace, into the stores, into restaurants, to go back to school, to lead a productive life, and it's freedom and mobility that they heretofore didn't have.
Leader Dogs for the Blind was founded in 1938 when Charles A. Nutting, Donald P. Shore, and S.A. Dodge led the Uptown Lions Club to establish a school to train guide dogs for the visually impaired. The following year, the foundation leased a small farm in Rochester Hills, which has grown into a world-class facility that still receives support from the Lions Clubs.
It all goes back to those gentlemen back in 1939. In that time, since 1939, they have placed over 14,000 guide dogs with blind and visually impaired. One of the newer facets to the program, they can also incorporate deaf as well as blind and visually impaired, so multiple handicaps, and they can teach dogs sign language so they can take direction from the deaf as well as visually impaired individual.
Spinner has had 3 litters of puppies, many of which are working in the Leader Dog organization. Each of these pups will be screened for certain traits to help them to be placed in the best possible scenario for both the client and the dog.
One of the fascinating elements of the whole Leader Dog breeding program is they can actually breed for certain traits. They'll match a certain dam and sire, mom and dad, who have certain personality traits to try and get a litter of traits that they're looking for. For instance, several of Spinner's puppies were bred specifically for Latino countries. I've got 2 puppies that went to Spain and 1 went to Mexico City. And the Spanish people talk fast, they move fast, it's a very frenetic pace to their life. And you have to have a dog that is going to be very independent, strong-willed to be able to keep up.
Since their humble beginnings, Leader Dogs for the Blind has expanded their services over the years, and they are currently at work on the Canine Development Center. This $14.5 million renovation project will create the state-of-the-art facility the Leader Dogs need to continue to learn their life-saving work. You can help the Leader Dog organization to reach their fundraising goal by going to leaderdog.org or call toll-free at 888-777-5332. It feels good to know that a local team of caring individuals serves as the backbone of this great organization, and they continue to help those in need, one puppy at a time. I'm Paul Morrow reporting for Shelby This Week.
All those puppies look so soft and sweet and smart. Shelby Township is hosting their 32nd annual art fair, a fun event for the whole family. Food, entertainment, 100 artists will have artwork on display, along with 30 Michigan-based businesses. Located at the municipal grounds on Van Dyke, just north of 23 Mile, the fair is held on August 8th and 9th. The Old Mill Arts and Crafts Show is just around the corner, and you're invited. The City of Utica has put on this successful event for 25 years. The outdoor event is at Grant Park with foods, arts, and crafts.
There will be activities for the children. There will be live music, lots of wonderful vendors. It's a juried show insofar as we are very careful. Everything is handmade, handcrafted. We will have Business Row this year again, which are businesses in the area that may put up a tent.
There is no fee to enter. There is no fee to park. There is handicap accessible parking. It's easy to get around in the park. We have a wonderful food court where the Utica Lions is serving meals. It's just a day that you can come out to the park and spend and really enjoy yourself.
The place to be is you need to be in Utica on July 18th and 19th.
The Old Mill Arts and Crafts Show is held July 18th and 19th. Go to utica-events.com for more information. A Shelby resident with a passion for sculpting shows his skills and his message. John Martin reports.
Sculptor Ben Vitale lives in Shelby Township, but his heart belongs to Detroit. The artist lived for decades in the city, and now he wants to honor Detroit with a monumental sculpture named Detroit Reforged.
And about a year and a half ago, I picked up a piece of styrofoam. I started with an X-Acto knife, start shaving away the material. And as I was working, I got the thought that I'd like to make a piece of sculpture for the city of Detroit, for the people of the city of Detroit, which I had lived in for a number of decades and just love the city, always will. The name of the piece that is to reflect this is Detroit Reforged. It's a reforging, a rebirth of the industrial part of the city, along with, of course, everything else that is going on down there. It's wonderful. I also wanted to reflect the rebirth of the city, and I really believe it's happening. Little by little, it's happening. I never was too much of a figurative sculptor, but an abstractionist. And so I'm thinking, how do I show a rebirth of the city, a new phoenix rising, the sun is rising, Detroit is rising out of sort of a murky, negative past. While I was doing that, I sat down and started writing a philosophic statement or poem about what this is about. Let me just read to you what I had written. Forged of fire, the phoenix rises, no longer captured in murk and mire. Cooling waters refresh its soul as it struggles towards its goal. New life is born, from passive indifference it is torn. As a new day dawning, as the sun does rise, out of depths of darkness it reaches, touches the skies. This is Detroit Reforged. The scale is very monumental. If you look at the people and the trees, the piece itself would be about 72 feet tall. I have no problem with that. It might be a problem with somebody who would finance this, and that's basically what I'm looking for. Back in the 14th, 15th century, you had the Medici family of Florence who financed Michelangelo and Da Vinci and a lot of the great artists. That's what I'm looking for today. I am looking for someone who is willing to finance this project, to give it to the city along with me. Together, we give this to the city. And so I'm looking for that one big bang. Hopefully it's out there.
Please email Ben at benvitali@comcast.net if you have any questions about the Detroit Reforged project. For Shelby This Week, this has been John Martin reporting.
Definitely a talented resident. Up next, a concert in Shelby. We'll tell you more after the break. Every summer, Shelby Township treats residents to a plethora of summer concerts. Located at the band shell on the municipal grounds, all are welcome to hear sounds of summer. These concerts will be Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. We leave you now with some sights and sounds from Shelby's first summer concert series with the band Square Pegs.